17 here, and today I got a video coming at you guys. It is Sunday, August 15th. So we got a Pokemon Presents coming up on Wednesday, August 18th, and I'm super hyped for it. If you guys are hyped for it too, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe as well. I will have a live podcast going on Wednesday evening because I'll be working during the actual event. So I'm not going to be able to like stream it live or do anything cool with you guys, unfortunately. But I'm going to find a way to talk about it. And I'm going to have some cool people on. We're going to discuss live. That'll be Wednesday around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys be looking out for that. That will be on the YouTube channel here. And it'll also be on my other platforms, you know, Spotify, things like that. So what I wanted to make today's video about is what to expect on Wednesday when the Pokemon Presents is actually announced. Now, it's a meaty Presents. Okay, it's a meaty one. Meaty. It is 28 minutes long. Okay, so it's going to be probably the longest, definitely the longest Presents we've ever had, and longer than any Direct that we've had. The only event that we've had longer, I saw Joe Merrick actually posted about it, was the Pokemon Press Conference, which we will talk about a little bit, the one they had in May of 2018 when Pokemon Let's Go was announced. So what I wanted to talk about first, to get out of the way, there's a lot of people on the internet, Twitter, talking about patterns in the way that, you know, Pokemon releases things and what's put in those presentations whenever they make announcements, and you know, you should be expecting this and that. And honestly, for the most part, from what I've seen on my timeline and the people that I follow, expectations are actually kept at a pretty solid rate, I would say. But needless to say, there are still a lot of people kind of expecting Gen 9. That was actually trending yesterday. Now look, I'm going to get into it in a minute. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not so much. But again, they've done crazier things, and that's what I'm going to start with right now. So in things really started changing in terms of their release formula back when Sun and Moon started marketing, because 2015 they didn't have a game. 2016 they had Sun and Moon, and I don't know if they felt like because 2015 was off year that they just had to go balls to the wall. Hey, here's Pokemon. But that release marketing cycle was very aggressive. Okay, so as you can see here, February 26, 2016 was when they revealed the games. It was actually leaked the day prior because of the trademarks that came out, the official logos and everything. And they were just like, all right, yep, Pokemon Sun and Moon. Masuda had posted a picture of the moon and all sorts of stuff, right? You can see here there are numerous dates, and this is just what I was able to pull up on Google real quick without shuffling through a million tabs. But I mean, July 2019, they had like a hands-on presentation in June or at E3. October, we got the starters revealed. And then actually in November, the following month, early November, I want to say, we had the actual starter evolutions turn out to be real. Those were leaked, and it was just crazy. And then following that, when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were coming out in 2017, Ultra Necrozma leaked. It was just a whole thing. Like, I think it was like the day of the game too. It might have been Sun and Moon actually. Nonetheless, it was very aggressive. They had a trailer drop almost every 2 weeks for this game. So the marketing push was very strong, right? And ever since then, it's gotten a lot more conservative. And I'm not sure if that's just because they heard the fans when we were like, hey, well, like, this is awesome and everything, but we already know the entire game by the time it comes out. And I know for me personally, like when I played Sun and Moon, as much fun as I had with it and played it, me and my best friend played it, and we had a good time, but there really just wasn't a whole lot left to see. So we weren't real like super hype about it. You know what I mean? Like Sword and Shield was totally different in terms of what was hidden and what wasn't. So for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, this was in 2018. I didn't mention Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because it kind of can just tie into Let's Go in terms of marketing and stuff. So in Pokemon, in 2018 for Pokemon Let's Go, following Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's release, Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu were remake games. Similar to ORAS, similar to like Emerald, Platinum, and all that stuff. And the unique thing about these were we didn't really know why they were coming out. I mean, it was Pokemon Yellow's anniversary, but people were completely caught off guard with this. and was received very well initially, and then it just turned into a giant shit show because of the Joy-Cons and all sorts of stuff. But there was a press conference May 29th, and that really surprised people because it was about 45 minutes long. They had a what you call it? Sorry guys. It was like almost like a live presser. They had media there. They had Eurogamer there. Emily Rogers even tweeted about it, like knew that it was happening in advance. And things on Twitter that day were absolutely crazy. And that was the first time Pokemon had done a press conference to reveal like a brand new game. They actually ended up revealing Pokemon Quest, Pokemon Sleep, I believe it was that time. Nonetheless, this was it right here. 45 minutes. It was Pokemon Quest. Was actually a very fun game, by the way. But that was 45 minutes. Okay, so we've seen a normal news cycle with Sun and Moon. We've seen a brand new press conference out of nowhere that no one expected for 45 minutes long for Let's Go. Then when you get into Sword and Shield, we saw kind of the more traditional news cycle where in February we saw the games for the first time. Awesome music. Love that music that was in that trailer. And then things kind of started to kick off around E3 timeframe, which is normal. But the point of me making this video is to show you that Game Freak, or excuse me, not Game Freak, the Pokemon Company can do whatever they want when it comes to releasing information. Like the whole pattern thing is completely gone. And with Sword and Shield, they really slowed the marketing down. So they had the Treehouse event, obviously, in 2019, which did not go well. Then they had a Pokemon Direct appearance in September. And then really after that, I think there was one more trailer, and that was it. Marketing was very slow for Sword and Shield. So they went from fast-paced with Sun and Moon. Obviously had a smaller cycle with Let's Go. Let's Go even had monthly announcements, but it was revealed differently. And then in, like I said, the press conferences was just kind of what shook everything up. And then when you go to in terms of the way that they changed their presentations, so obviously we all knew about Pokemon Directs, right? That was like the thing. When's the next Direct? When's the next Direct? Well, then they changed it they went from press conference to back to the Direct, and then they went to a Pokemon Presents in 2020 of June. Now the video is unavailable. They took it down, which is kind of funny. But the way they changed their presentations up and stuff is really just random. So essentially what I'm getting at is on Wednesday, they can throw anything at us that they want to. Okay, they can do anything they want. I mean, look back for the press conference that we had over in for this right here, Pokemon Sleep is still nowhere to be found. And the unique thing about this press conference was they actually told us that a new mainline game, Sword and Shield, was coming the following year, second half. So a lot of people were talking about on Wednesday, oh, well, maybe Gen 9 is going to come out. And that's kind of, I think, where people pulled the idea from. I'm giving them a lot of credit, but I think that's where the initial thoughts started. And again, is that possible? It is, but it shouldn't really be an expectation because they've only done that one time. But a lot of people are speculating because Legends Arceus comes out in January that in the holiday they're going to have another Pokemon game, aka Gen 9. Now, again, they can do whatever. If they want to say, hey, new mainline game 2022, may not be a bad idea if there is one, whatever that game that is. If it's Let's Go or 2, or if it's Detective Pikachu 2, whatever it is. Just expect the unexpected, honestly, because they can literally do anything. And that's really what I wanted to hit home with you guys in making this video, is to not expect one type of announcement or one type of reveal, or hey, it's been done this way in the past, so it's going to be done this way now. Like, you guys have to understand, the way they've kind of grown and started doing things a lot differently. Elka's developing a remake game. They've never outsourced their entire development of a game to another company, especially for a mainline game, so that they can work on Legends Arceus. They've also never done two entirely different games, main series games, in the same fiscal year. So Pokemon has really switched things up in the way that they're doing things, and I think people just need to keep that in mind. Now, in terms of what to expect, for me personally, I think what is reasonable is a quick recap of the Pokemon Snap DLC. I I know it's already out and stuff, but they kind of just like to say, hey, it's out there, and by the way, it's free. So just letting you guys know that, go ahead and pick it up. So they may just kind of talk on this a little bit, maybe spend a minute or two, and then they'll kind of jump into probably straight to BDSP would be my guess. And in terms of new game announcements, before I get into BDSP and Legends Arceus, I didn't say Legend of Arceus. Lutu, if you're watching, you should be proud of me. But I think Detective Pikachu is going to get shown here, and I think it's going to be summer of next year. I think that will be the new game. In my personal opinion, I don't see Gen 9 here at all. I don't think Gen 9 is a 2022 game. I just don't. I think Legends Arceus is going to have DLC. I think they're really going to hit that game home. It is a brand new open world mainline Pokemon game they put a lot of focus into, at least 3 years up to this point, and I just don't see them changing the script that quickly. They could. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I wouldn't expect Generation 9 by any means. Could it happen? Yes. So don't come screaming in the comments, oh, Nito, I told you. Hey, if you told me, you told me. But I'm just letting y'all know to tamper your expectations when it comes to Gen 9. So Pokemon Snap, definitely should expect that. For BDSP, I think what we're going to get is a lot of things similar to Let's Go's reveal cycle. Let's Go's reveal cycle just had like a bunch of stuff that we kind of knew, okay, it connects with Go. That was kind of the pitch, right? And then when you go into like further details, learn more, a lot of it is just very similar stuff to what a remake type game is, right? So Let's Go, I think, is a perfect example of what I think BDSP is going to be. You're going to have some new features, like you had the Partner Eevee, Partner Pikachu mechanic, right? Yeah, it's secret techniques to replace HMs. So this was a game, obviously, that had HMs in the past. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Any form that Gen 1 was in, they had HMs in the game. And Let's Go found a way to get rid of that. And I think they're going to do the exact same thing for BDSP. I think no HMs are going to be in the game. And one thing I wanted to touch on too, when they say faithful remake, Lutu actually talked about this a little bit. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick. But I think it's important to remember, guys, like, let me see if I can find him. It's my boy right here. Watch his new video, by the way. It's really good. Let's see, where did it go? Yeah. Interesting BDSP note before the video comes out later tonight. Didn't even try to have a place to put it. The official press release for the games has Masuda credited as first as director and explicitly mentions the games and features have been faithfully reproduced. This is pretty notable. Most other official media posts about BDSP state that the sense of scale maps and story have been faithfully reproduced, but never explicitly mention game features beside here. And that's to say, like, more than likely, BDSP is going to have new features in the game. Shocker. ORAS had new features in the game to kind of expand on what X and Y introduced, and that would not surprise me at all. Like, at all. So I think people need to realize, like, when they say it's going to be a faithful remake, it's just going to be, bringing you back to Diamond and Pearl, what those games were, the region. It's all going to look very, very similar, pretty much the same damn game, but there are going to be some twists in it. Let's Go even had twists. So, again, that should be expected. Now, is there going to be anything crazy in the games? Probably not. I think where they're going to start getting a little adventurous is with the Underground. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff with that, because if you think back into Platinum, Pokemon Platinum had, like, secret bases and stuff. I don't know if Diamond and Pearl did. I actually never finished them because they ran like such ass. So I stopped playing them and then just played Platinum. But I think the Underground's where you're going to see a lot of this stuff kind of expanded on, kind of the newer stuff. I think they're going to really hit that home on that stuff. I think the BDSP presentation is going to be a lot about the Underground. Maybe the Battle Frontier if that's back, or maybe on the fact that Pokemon Platinum Dex is going to be in there, and hey, it is going to have some Pokemon Platinum features in it, or they're going to do like they did with ORAS and just have a Platinum event for post-game, or a Darkrai event for post-game, or whatever the case is. So I think that's what BDSP in its entirety is going to be in the presentation. There's not any gameplay mechanics to go over because we've already seen it. We know what it's going to be. It's not like Legends Arceus. We know that it's going to probably have the Diamond and Pearl Pokedex, unfortunately. And there may be some type of Platinum post-game in there to kind of shout it out like they did with Emerald and ORAS. So that's what I would expect. Now, could they do something more? Sure. Could they say, hey, Dynamax is back? Please, God. Please, God, no. But, yeah, that could totally be a thing. Like, they could bring that back, implement it. Usually whenever something comes out, like a new generation, like Sword and Shield, whatever the remake game is the following year, they implement the same mechanic like ORAS had. Mega Evolutions, just like X and Y did, and it was in the same generation. So, again, it's very likely that that could happen. So, I think in terms of expectations, Dynamax is a possibility. Expect Diamond and Pearl Pokedex, Diamond and Pearl story with a twist, and then some added features. As Lutu alluded here, game features is the thing that they've emphasized. So there's going to be something new in there, and we just got to wait to see it. If you're hoping to see the game corner, that will not be in the game because of legal issues. They actually took it out of, what was that? Let's Go. I think the last game that had the game corner was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and that's kind of what sparked it. Hey, like gambling in games and stuff isn't a thing. But nonetheless, Legends Arceus. I think Legends Arceus is pretty self-explanatory in what to expect, but I think a lot of people are expecting it just in different ways. And I think there's a lot of cool ideas out there. I think that the coolest thing would be to do a live gameplay of the game to show it off. Like, more than likely it's just going to be a presentation. I don't think they're going to have, a popular Japanese YouTuber in there playing the game for them to show us it. I think it's all going to be very structured. I think it's going to be something that we've grown used to when it comes to how Pokemon reveals new gameplay. It's very similar to a treehouse, or excuse me, not similar to a treehouse, very similar to just kind of what we saw for the first trailer where they're showing us everything. Where the live gameplay could really help them, I think, explain and market this game, because there's going to be a lot of questions after this. There just is. Game Freak likes to give us informations, and then we have a lot more questions after. I think if they did a live gameplay presentation with someone, or Masuda or whoever actually playing it with a tester or something, then it would allow them to explain the gameplay even further and give people a better idea on what the games are. Like something as simple as catching a Pokemon. What, different ways you can do that, what the approach is. You have to be sneaky with certain Pokemon. And again, they may go into all that. I'm sure that they will. But I think if you did a live game presentation, I think that would really bring to light a lot of questions people have. But then again, the last time they did that, Sword and Shield actually just freaking bombed. And it was a shit show. So I don't think they'll ever do that again. Or if they do, it'll be a long time before they do. But I just think that it could really do a lot of good things for the game. Now, in terms of content, expect them to show the professor. Expect them to go over the starting town. I think you're going to see a lot of new characters. You're definitely going to see a lot fuller world. I think that's the biggest thing. Probably more NPCs, more Pokemon to fill out the world. They're probably going to introduce some new characters that you're going to be interacting with, I would assume. And then one of the bigger things I think they'll hit on is how you get around the world. And I think that's going to be a driving point, because games like Breath of the Wild, you get on a horse, you go. Pokemon has a unique creativity aspect to it where, okay, if I hop on a Noctowl, I can fly. If I hop on a Pidgeot, I can fly. There are a lot of different ride methods you can use in that game. So are all Pokemon going to be rideable? Because I'm telling you right now, if you can only get around this damn open world in a freaking, like, one or two very different ways, that's ridiculous. Really absolutely ridiculous, and to me, no excuse for that. Like, all Pokemon that are able to be ridden on should be able to be ridden on this game. Pokemon following you should be a thing, and we know based on the leaks that we saw from those January scans, Rhydon looks to be following you. So I would imagine all Pokemon can follow you, and I hope they improved on it from Sword and Shield, because that was ass the way they did it in Sword and Shield. There were some ones that were done really good, but most of them were garbage. So I really, really, really hope they emphasize those things that I just mentioned. But in terms of like maybe big expectations, like if I were to kind of go over the top, hopefully we see some Giratina. Hopefully we see some Dialga Palkia fighting. Maybe some environmental changes, as you're traveling through the world, seeing how the different weather effects affect you. Because we've seen weather effects in Pokemon games, but if you guys have played Immortals Phoenix Rising or a different game, the way the environment is changing directly affects you as you're traveling. New enemies pop up, new Pokemon pop up. You have to dodge fireballs in midair and crap like that. Like, that game really did a good job on that. So there are a lot of cool, ambitious things they could do. But I think my over-the-top expectation would be just to see the legendaries out in the open world and how you interact with them, and maybe just some of the lore behind that. And I think that would be a realistic expectation to have. But it's 28 minutes long, so there's going to be some meat in there. And if there is a new game, lastly, if there is a new game like Detective Pikachu 2, I imagine we'll see some of that with a release date or a release time frame, summer of 2022, whatever the case is. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I do have a few questions from those on Twitter, and after that we'll kind of conclude the video here. So my buddy Ant says, is the National Dex coming back? No. The National Dex will not be coming back. I do not see that happening at all. So I would temper those expectations right now. Just go ahead and do it. Turtuber says, do you think we could get Sinnoh forms? I do, depending on what they want to do with the lore. So if they want to predate certain Pokemon to say, this is what this Pokemon was before X, Y, and Z happened, and now as a result you have a Infernape, or you have X, Y, and Z, whatever Pokemon they decided to make a form of, there's definitely a way to spin that. People have really come to love different forms, so I think that's a huge possibility. I don't think they'll be called Sinnoh forms. I think they'd be called something else. And they may even have their appearance altered so much to say that it's not like a fossil Pokemon like Kabuto and everything, but just to say hey, this is how Pokemon has evolved, because evolution is literally the concept of Pokemon. So this is a great opportunity, I think, for Game Freak to emphasize evolution and why Pokemon evolve and make that the focus. But again, we know Sinnoh's lore and we know Sinnoh's story. So that's not really the concept of it. It's space, it's time, it's how Arceus formed the world, all those types of things. So that would kind of switch it up a little bit, and they can definitely do the two together. But Sinnoh forms, I think, are a possibility. I would just not expect them, if that makes sense. I wouldn't go into the presents with that expectation. Alright, last but not least, Vintage Huey with a Shaman as his default. I like it. Let's click on this bad boy. Just a theory I had. Since Bdsp are faithful remakes based on Diamond and Pearl, will they rely on the Game Boy Advance games to unlock items, Pokemon? It's kind of strange. It's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. We didn't have a Game Boy Advance Pokemon game released in a collection. So the question is, since Bdsp are faithful remakes based on DP, will they rely on the GBA games to unlock items? Not really sure I understand the question. And Gen 4 games based on what you had in the for the PAL Park. The PAL Park is definitely outdated, but they could find a way to incorporate an in-game function to where it talks directly to home. So think of a PAL Park that talks to home, and then you get your Pokemon faster that way. The PAL Park would connect to home. You use the PAL Park, very similar to what Let's Go did. They took away the Safari Zone and they implemented something new. I think that's what they're going to do with this. They're going to take it out, take out the PAL Park, implement whatever that new feature is, and that'll be kind of how you connect to home and bring your Pokemon out and catch it and all that type of stuff. I don't know how Legends Arceus is going to handle Pokemon deposits. There's not going to be a PC, so where are Pokemon going to go? Will there be daycares? Will there be eggs? I would assume all those things are going to be in there. I have a lot of questions for Legends Arceus, and I hope a lot of them get answered, but there's just no telling. You know what I mean? Anything can happen on Wednesday. Anything can happen. So that wraps it up, guys. Sorry if this video was a little long. There was just a lot to talk about and a lot to say, so I greatly appreciate you guys watching. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'm just as excited as you guys are on Wednesday when the Presents comes out. Like I said, we will be going live on our podcast. It will not be recorded. We will be live on YouTube A few of us are going to be there around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time. Be sure to subscribe and hit that like button so you guys don't miss out. And we hope to see you there for the stream. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. I am out. Peace.